Hello and welcome to Views on News. I'm Jawad Tehami. Pakistan's Prime Minister Mohammad Shehbaz Sharif will embark on an official visit to China from 4th to 8th of June. According to Pakistan's Foreign Office, this visit will have three segments. Besides Beijing, the Prime Minister will visit the cities of Xi'an and Shenzhen. Also, in a statement, the Foreign Office has said, let me quote, the two sides will undertake discussions to further strengthen the all-weather strategic cooperative partnership, upgrade China-Pakistan economic corridor, advance trade and investment, enhance cooperation in security and defense, energy, space, science and technology and education, and promote cultural cooperation and people-to-people contacts, thus setting the future trajectory of the Pakistan-China friendship, unquote. Also, similar sort of statements that has come forth with the Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesperson Mao Ning. Let me quote that. China and Pakistan are all-weather strategic cooperative partners and ironclad friends. China stands ready to work with Pakistan through this visit to make greater progress in our all-weather strategic cooperative partnership and take new steps in the building of an even closer China-Pakistan community with a shared future in the new era, unquote. In today's program, we'll be delving deeper into the prospects associated with this particular visit of Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif to China. 5-day official visit, very important engagement is going to happen, and also it is going to focus on the reinvigoration of the China-Pakistan economic corridor. That is the manifestation of the all-weather strategic cooperative partnership between Pakistan and China. How the harvest and the positive outcomes of the CPAC Phase 1 have been in the last decade, and what is the potential and the prospects which are associated with the CPAC Phase 2? What is the potential in that particular aspect, and what key areas are going to come when we talk about China-Pakistan economic corridors expansion and the transition towards Phase 2? We'll be discussing all these important aspects. For that, we are honored to have been joined in the studio by Mr. Zamir Awan, his foreign affairs expert. Mr. Awan, thank you very much for your time, for being with us on the show tonight. We really appreciate that. On Skype at the same time, we are honored to have been joined by Ms. Sara Afzel. She is a journalist working with China Media Group. Ms. Sara, thank you very much for your time, also for being with us on the show tonight. We really appreciate that. Let me begin the discussion with you, Mr. Awan. Now, by looking at this particular statement by the Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesperson Mao Ning, one part of this statement talks about the friendship, the strength this particular bilateral friendship between Pakistan and China does carry. Let me quote an excerpt. Our friendship has stood the test of time and remained rock solid, and to use a Chinese expression, steady as Mount or Tai, whatever the way you pronounce it. I just want you to shed a little bit of light regarding the steadiness of this relationship and giving that expression from the Chinese, relating it to Mount Tai. What is the significance of that?
Thank you, Jawad. Let me tell you that the relationship between China and Pakistan are unique in nature. There is no other example in the world. We usually in the Western society or Western culture, the relationship are based on the interest. There is no permanent friend, there are no permanent enemies. It's interest which makes you friends and foes. But with China, we have a very, very deep-rooted friendship. The specific thing about the friendship between China and Pakistan are, let me express in this way. China has common border or neighboring country with many, many countries. And China has almost have war or tension in the past with all of its neighboring countries except Pakistan. So China value this country, Pakistan, because we have never ever any confrontation or war or any disagreement on anything. We are always all-weather friends. Secondly, China was in a big trouble in the early days of the liberation in 1950s, especially in 60s, when the American imposed embargo and blockade of economic blockade of China in 1955. Pakistan was the only country which was a window for the China to interact with the rest of the world. For another thing that when China was poor, backward and in troubles, Pakistan always supported China. Today, China has developed very well, and Pakistan is in problems. And China is helping Pakistan almost every field, on economic front, on diplomatic front, on political front, in helping us in science and technology, in education, in all dimensions. China is helping Pakistan. So these friendships are unique in nature. In Chinese, they use a specific terminology, pa the or the gomer, that is unique only for Pakistan. They have different terminology for different countries. For example, they have the brotherly countries, they have the friendly countries, they have the good relation. But for Pakistan is a unique terminology, pa the and the gomer. This is very common in China, and this is special for the Pakistan. And I believe that this visit will further strengthen this deep-rooted friendship.
I'll come back to you to take your understanding. What sort of prospects this particular visit, 5-day official visit to China of the Prime Minister, does carry with itself? Let me bring in Ms. Sara into the discussion also. Ms. Sara, when we talk about this particular visit by Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif, could you share with our viewers the major engagements that Prime Minister is going to have over there during his 5-day official visit in China?
Yes, actually, the visit will start according to our time tomorrow after maybe 40 minutes. It will be 4th of May here, 4th of June here. So it's a 5-day visit, 4th till 8 June, and on the invitation of President Xi Jinping and the Prime Minister Li Qiang, Shehbaz Sharif expressed his expectations about this visit, and according to him, he said this visit will be different from the past, and he's looking forward to having in-depth discussions, promoting business-to-business dialogue and exchanges, and jointly bringing the development of the China-Pakistan economic corridor. And as in the beginning, you mentioned that there will be 3 segments of this visit. Besides Beijing, Prime Minister will visit Xi'an and Shenzhen. So the important aspect of Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif's visit will be meetings with corporate executives of leading Chinese companies dealing in oil and gas, energy, internet communication technology, emerging technologies. And in Shenzhen, he will address the China-Pakistan Business Forum with leading business persons, entrepreneurs, and investors from both the countries. And this is after meeting with the President and the Prime Minister. This is a major segment here. And he will also visit economic and agriculture zones in China. And these 2 sides will undertake discussion to further strengthen the strategic cooperative partnership and upgrade the China-Pakistan economic corridor. This is the main agenda, and advance trade and investment, enhance cooperation in security and defense, energy, space, science and technology. And in science and technology and space cooperation, when we talk about it, the results are coming and they are showing in recent days, past few days. We all see the cooperation between China and Pakistan in the space technology, and the results are more to come. So even in education sector, agriculture sector, and to promote cultural cooperation and people-to-people context. So, at this moment when China has just started the journey to achieve the goal of high quality development and adopted the new quality productive forces, at this moment, this visit is very important. Like in his interview, PM Shehbaz Sharif says that Pakistan is one of the first countries to announce support to China's Global Development Initiative, the 3 initiatives presented by President Xi Jinping, the Global Development Initiative, Global Security Initiative, and Global Civilization Initiative. So Prime Minister says that Pakistan is committed to these visions, and according to the Prime Minister, and I'm quoting his words, that because I believe these initiatives and I think the world will restore its peace, its tranquility, its progress, its prosperity. So the visit is important not only for bilateral cooperation, but also for its global relevance and significance. And if you remember, that a few days ago, the Deputy Prime Minister and Foreign Minister of Pakistan, Mohammad Saqdar, he also visited China, and he participated in an engaging discussion with representatives from Chinese associations and Chamber of Commerce and business enterprises and entrepreneurs. And the focus was on enhancing economic collaboration and strengthening trade ties between Pakistan and China, and to boost the CPEC, the second phase of CPEC. So this shows that the Pakistani government is totally focused on the investment and to expand the cooperation in the agriculture sector, in the new technology, AI sector, space technology. You can say from land till space, everywhere they want cooperation with China, and they want a strong cooperation in future.
Right, Ms. Sara, when we talk about China-Pakistan economic corridor, in your take right now, you talked about the transition or going towards the CPAC phase 2, consolidating this particular flagship project. When we talk about Belt and Road Initiative, overall, China-Pakistan economic corridor is known as the flagship project of this gigantic project that was envisioned by President Xi Jinping. The major harvest of the CPAC phase 1 in the last 1 decade and the transition towards CPAC phase 2, what were those key areas in which there were major successes as far as the CPAC phase 1 is concerned, and what are those key areas where the CPAC phase 2 is going to basically focus upon?
First of all, the energy sector and the agriculture sector in phase 1. And while based on this, while we are moving forward towards phase 2, you know it very well that there were some glitches and a few things, the results were not as per the frame period. So there are some little backlogs. We'll want to move forward, we want to clear it all and move forward towards more stable agricultural development, infrastructure development, and now in this era when this is AI, we say this is the era of AI now. So the internet and communication, this is another major area. Basically, the focus is to strengthen more economic, more energy, more agricultural development, plus now this time it's infrastructure is also included, plus the people-to-people exchanges. So more technical collaboration, more cultural collaboration, and more educational collaboration will generate more results for the CPAC.
Right, Ms. Sara, when we talk about the second phase of the CPAC, one of the key areas that would be actually focused upon as far as both sides cooperation, collaboration is concerned is agriculture. Agriculture now happens to be one of those key areas that come in the ambit of Special Investment Facilitation Council over here in Pakistan also. So when we talk about enhancing the agricultural productivity and later on getting more exports from this particular sector as far as Pakistan is concerned, what is there for Pakistan to learn from the Chinese experience, particularly in this sector?
Smart agriculture development. China has a wonderful experience and results in the smart agriculture development. And smart agriculture, not only technically like to use the machines and what we say mechanically, but more and more experiments in labs and in fields with AI technology, with the e-commerce. They all are interlinked actually. It's not just only to harvest on a land, the technology they use. It's e-commerce, it's AI, it's the mechanical technical support. There is a lot to learn from China, and China is willing and eager to share their experiences with Pakistan, because Pakistan is basically an agricultural country and our land has a lot of potential, and it is very, very fertile for so many crops to grow here. If you remember, in Mansehra, they have the experiment of tea plantation, and the results are amazing. So there are so many areas, there are so many other crops, there are so many other things which China can help us with their experience to cultivate in Pakistan, and through these experiments, Pakistan will be able to enhance its own production and will experiment in new crops and production of the crops to enhance the production, to get more and more smart agricultural developed models from China they can adopt in Pakistan, and they can enhance the agricultural development in Pakistan.
Okay, Ms. Sara, when you talk about that expectation from the Chinese investors here in Pakistan, we've seen in the recent past Pakistani authorities taking some very good measures in a direction in order to not only stabilize the country's economy here in Pakistan, but also creating that environment that happens to be conducive for the international investors and come and invest in Pakistan. SIFC happens to be one of those forums that provides a single window operation in order to overcome all those bureaucratic hurdles that used to be there in the past in order to facilitate the investors. Now, when we talk about the perspective of the Chinese businessmen and Chinese investors, what key areas here in Pakistan do they deem could serve as a lucrative market for them?
As I told you, that Prime Minister and even the Vice Premier, they when they talk about the discussions, they said oil and gas field and agriculture, first of all. Secondly, infrastructure. The business community in China, yes, they have some apprehensions. They had some apprehensions, but as the Vice Premier came and he encouraged Chinese enterprises to take the leverage of Pakistan business-friendly policies and market access, in these sessions, the Chinese businessmen actually discuss not only what they want to do, but they express their concerns, and they really have in-depth discussions about what are the hurdles and what can more be done to facilitate and to create a better environment for the Chinese businessmen. So the areas, there are lots and lots of areas. Like when we talk about oil and gas, when we talk about the natural resources, the infrastructure, plus the the IT sector, the Chinese business companies are very much interested in the IT sector of Pakistan, because the Pakistani youngsters, the young minds, they are amazing, and they really appreciate the young talent of Pakistan in IT industry. So, as you know, Huawei showed their interest to develop, open their. Sorry, I'm just skipping this word, but Huawei was interested to invest in Pakistan. So are the other companies for e-commerce and in the IT sector. They are interested to invest in Pakistan.
Right, Ms. Sara Afzel, journalist working with China Media Group. Thank you very much for taking time out for Views on News tonight. We really appreciate that. Mr. Awan, now, the major harvest of the first phase of the CPAC in the first decade was primarily focused on energy and infrastructure projects. So what has been achieved so far as a result of the launch of this particular gigantic project, and what are the prospects when we talk about the second phase, particularly in agriculture, tourism, enhancing people-to-people contacts in that direction?
When we talk about China-Pakistan economic corridor, the focus is economic. Economic means that China want to help Pakistan to revive its economy. For reviving the economy, what we need, the basic need is the power. Pakistan was facing shortage of electricity. You remember that we were having load shedding up to several hours in a day.
Exactly.
At least with the initial stage of the CPAC, we prioritized the power sector and built many new power plants, including the dams and nuclear power plants and the coal-fired power plants and solar power plants, and at least we overcome the load shedding. Alhamdulillah, now at least we are not facing any load shedding. This was a mega achievement for Pakistan. The second thing what we need for economic development, is the road and railway network. Under the CPAC infrastructure projects, a lot of new motorways and highways has been constructed, connecting big cities and shortening the distance among cities. Travel time has been reduced, travel cost has been reduced. That is really helping to generate, to create more economic activities. That is to help the reviving the economy of Pakistan. In the first phase, definitely the focus was energy and infrastructure, and now we are entering into the second phase. Second phase is more important. In the first phase, energy and the infrastructure was the long-term planning, that impact will come gradually, slowly and less visible. But in the second phase, the impact will be very big and immediate and much visible. For example, in agriculture, China has helped Pakistan in agriculture a lot. Some of the Chinese investor has come to Pakistan and they are cultivating the chilies, red chilies, and they are exporting to China. They grow in Pakistan and take back to China, giving us a lot of revenue in the form of foreign exchange. Sesame seeds, they are importing from Pakistan. They are helping Pakistan to export the beef and the meat. That is helping Pakistan. Increasing our export, increasing our foreign exchange reserve, it is really big help. Even that in agriculture sector, they are helping Pakistan in cultivating soybeans and cooking oil seeds and many other things. And also in Gilgit-Baltistan, they are helping our local people to grow more cherries and fruits. They are processing our mangoes and fruits and exporting. So they are helping Pakistan to improve its export and earn more foreign exchange, which is badly needed in this country. Also, in the another focus in the next this coming phase, the second phase, is the industrialization. China is considered the global factory manufacturing hub. No other country can beat China in volume of manufacturing, scale of manufacturing and the cost of manufacturing. But China is moving toward the high tech and labor intensive industry they want to shift. And Pakistan can be very good destination with huge population, especially the jobless people, the young people, they need the jobs. And this industry, if shift to Pakistan, can solve a lot of problem in Pakistan. First of all, it will create a lot of job opportunities for Pakistanis. Secondly, it will it will become the import substitute. The excess production we can export and earn the foreign exchange. So the second phase will have more impact, more visibility and immediate impact. We are working on it, and especially in the high-tech area, China is willing to help Pakistan. Recently we have launched our space satellite with the help of China.
How significant is that, and the cooperation, collaboration between Pakistan and China in the high tech, also the space technology? I'll come back to you for your deeper take regarding that particular thing.
Yes.
For now, we are joined by another participant on Skype, Mr. G.R Baloch, is former ambassador. Mr. Baloch, thank you very much for your time, for being with us on the show tonight. Really appreciate that. Now, we are all eyes are set on this particular visit of Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif to China. A 5-day official visit. He is going to embark upon. High-level interactions are going to happen. He is also going to have other interactions other than President Xi Jinping and Premier Li Qiang. Now, when we talk about the overall trajectory of the bilateral relationship between Pakistan and China since the day this particular bilateral relationship started, how this relationship has evolved over time and where does it exactly stand at this point in history?
Jawad, thank you. Basically, this visit is very important from symbolic point of view, from the substantial point of view, and from the point of view of long-term further consolidation of our strategic, historical, and almost we call it exemplary relationship between the two neighbors. That is how the world should look like. If we say it's a model. In fact, Pakistan-China relations are kind of quoted in our discussions, in our diplomatic as well as in our other international forums, as the model of how two countries have over the last 5-6 decades evolved a relationship based on mutual respect, mutual trust, mutual benefit, and with complete harmony. And of course, we have to really look back at the history that when we started to engage with China, China was not what China is today. But somehow the leadership that time did have that long-term perspective that obviously China one day will become a great nation, a global power. Obviously, there are certain things which even the best of the best Western informed people did not understand that it would really catch up so quickly and would start to kind of compete with already established global actors. But China has done it, and we, as friends, sincere friends of China, are so pleased and happy. And Pakistan has been with China in this long journey, at least at the international fora. I wish we had engaged China much earlier, 10 years before, 15 years before, as they launched their own reforms, their own march towards renovation, creation, creativity, science and technology. Nonetheless, it's still not too late. It's good that we are part of the Belt and Road Initiative, and to which CPAC is very, very important component of that very multi-billion-dollar project of China. So this visit, now coming to that, I think is meant, as I understand from the statements coming from our Ministry of Planning, Ministry of Foreign Affairs, likewise from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of China, is essentially to discuss the second phase of CPAC. So when we talk of second phase, we are, I think there will be because it's quite a long trip, it's about 5 days, which is, I know how difficult it must be for our planners to make it fruitful, but it also shows the intensity, the width and the depth of the issues that will be discussed and covered in these five days there. And I think this time, which is very good, is that there'll be 2 tracks. One will be the government to government track, the other would be business to business track. And always been, even with you also have been saying that let's give the business people, the private business to business context, in fact, a more priority. Of course, the mega projects cannot be handled by them, but I think it seems now that a due priority is being given business to business. And I would like to see this B2B or business to business cooperation and collaboration with China to flourish further. And as far as the new areas, I think areas were actually in the blueprint that we already have of CPAC, but I think they were scheduled to follow a certain time frame, and I think they seem to be now coming to a fruition, and which of course includes the agriculture. I think is one big new area where it seems that we will be collaborating with China because they have experience of large scale farm management, new varieties. So I think it's good that we will try to our agriculture is really good. We are basically an agriculture country, and our agriculture sector is very, very due, in fact, rather too due for renovation and modernization. So I think if the Chinese can help us modernize our agriculture sector, it will be a great breakthrough. Now, of course, in the industry also, that there is like those industries which China probably may not be very much interested to give it to Pakistan, but that is fine for me. But I would like to see that Pakistan, I think every one of us says that we need a leapfrogging. We cannot follow the queue and then reach there. No, because the world will go forward. Our competitors will be much ahead of us. So I think there have to be businesses, there have to be enterprises, there have to be creativity to help Pakistan, first of all, develop that capacity to create that ecosystem where our business, our agriculture, our industry, our high-end technology, we can go and engage in that leapfrogging. That is, we have to be running very, very fast. We have to catch up with our competitors. I think the most important, which I saw, was the ML1. I think communication is very important. And we know that our railway system, which is now over 100 years old, is totally depleted, old, and archaic. And I think it's not difficult. End to end, Pakistan would be like 1200 to 1500 kilometers if you put the railway line. And we can connect Iran and Central Asia with it. I'm sure our audience and you would be aware that there used to be a railway line from Pakistan to Kabul and Tehran as well as Iran. So, and I think with the Chinese collaboration, Pakistan's that strategic location, we keep talking about it, but alas, we have not yet taken the full advantage at that strategic location. We got engaged, or we somehow circumstances did not allow us to utilize this strategic location as a business hub, as an energy hub. And now, since our other port is ready and going, as our other ports are fine, we have built certain road networks from Karachi to Peshawar. I think we should start also working on the railway track, and this should become a linkage between the Central Asia and of course West Asia. So I think there's a huge potential, and I am really excited to see that some tangible results kind of come back when our Prime Minister returns and tells the nation what all has been achieved.
Let me once again proceed towards Mr. Awan. Mr. Awan, when we talk about, there are a lot of dividends, always when we talk about dividends associated with CPAC, it's first phase and the second phase for Pakistan. How Pakistan's economy is going to be stabilized, how there's going to be job creation, how these projects related to CPAC are going to benefit Pakistan in the longer run. When we talk about the Chinese perspective, as far as the CPAC being the flagship project of BRI, is it a manifestation of win-win cooperation between Pakistan? We've understood quite in detail what Pakistan gets out of it. What about the Chinese side?
Because I lived in China for a long time and I have very deep penetration into Chinese society. I have an interaction with the Chinese academicians, scholars, think tanks, universities. So I know the first-hand information, the Chinese perspective. In Pakistan, we are sometimes over-optimistic that CPAC means that China will do everything, which I think is not so correct. In fact, we have to work hard. China will be playing a role of catalyst. China will be helping us. When we are in big trouble, China will help us. China will guide us. China will support us. But still, is important that we need to work hard. CPAC is our project, is in our interest, in our national interest. The Chinese want Pakistan to work hard and involve in the CPAC. But sometimes in our country, we use it as a political slogan, CPAC is a game changer or the fortune changer, or let the Chinese do everything and we will be the beneficiary of only. That is not the right approach. It should be that we should own it, we conceive the CPAC very well, we design the CPAC very well, we execute the CPAC project, and we should be the beneficiary. The Chinese will be only helping hand to us. When we need the investment, the China will invest. When we need the technology, they will give the technology.
After we have worked hard, the kind of potential it's got, it is of course going to be a game changer.
Yes, yes, yes.
Isn't it?
Yes, but not only the slogan, it is conditioned to the work hard.
Right. Mr. Baloch, the Chinese perspective as far as the benefits of the CPAC being the flagship project of BRI, your understanding regarding that, sir?
I think Chinese perspective is very positive. To summarize it, Chinese are always ready to walk two steps if you are able to walk one step for your own good, as was being mentioned by our friend. So I think there is a awareness of some of the limitations that we have, of capacity, of our own insufficient infrastructure. So I think there is already an awareness that how China can help us improve our capacity to implement the very finely conceived projects. So I think Chinese are very much interested that Pakistan should be able to go up the ladder of development, should have a sustainable economy, a sustainable industry, and a reliable system overall, which can really bring Pakistan up to the level that it deserves. We are a fifth largest country in terms of population in the world. We are, in fact, among the top 10 countries in several agriculture commodities. I think we are third or fourth in rice, we are fifth or sixth in production of wheat, and so on and so forth. And so I think as far as our potential, it is there, and Chinese know it well. They do it well, they know it well as well. So I think it would be a good idea we get their intellectual input, we get their technological input, but obviously there are challenges. I think we cannot hide under excuses. We have problems of security, we have problems of insufficient infrastructure, we have problem of not a very, very good kind of reservoir of highly trained people. In fact, I happened to see a cement factory of one of my friends a couple of years back, and I was pleased to see that there were Chinese engineers building that cement factory for a private sector. But I was wondering, why can't these basics work we train can be done by our own engineers? The gentleman told me that no, we can't find it. It means there's a big deficit, Jawad sir. I think our universities have to come in, HEC has to come in, our engineering council has to come in, our agriculture sector has to come in to even when, if we are talking about agriculture, I don't know how will we get those experts who can really be employed. We cannot just that is a very wrong sort of approach, and I entirely agree with my friend that we have to do ourselves. It's our own country. We have to take the responsibility. We have to assume the role that we have to play in the development. It's a fact that Pakistan can be put right, can develop only with our efforts. Efforts are young people, girls and boys, and they are amazingly enterprising. I teach at a university in Karachi, and believe me, they're all brimming with energy, intellectual energy, emotional energy, and patriotic energy. We just have to channelize them, give them the wherewithal, give them the direction, give them the opportunity. They can compete with any world-class engineers, doctors. We know that our people have gone abroad and have competed. So I think here is a time to really develop our capacity of human resource, of our infrastructure, our rules and regulations, and take a long-term perspective and depoliticize development. Development is for everyone. It's not only for A, B, C, D, E, F, for one province or the other province, or one party or the other party. So one thing should be a national consensus that Pakistan has to develop. China is a strategic partner in this march towards development, and I think there should be no disagreements. There should be not ill-informed debates on this, unnecessary debates which distract, which can create misunderstanding, which can send wrong signals. But the challenges that we have to come together as a nation, face them, and prove to the Chinese that we are up to the task. Jawad sir.
Right, Mr. Awan, now building the capacity of the young people, creating the highly skilled, appropriately skilled workforce to utilize them as far as the CPAC Phase 2 is concerned. What's required for that?
First of all, I endorse Ambassador Baloch's point of view that China is very much sincere and willing to help Pakistan. As a matter of fact, China is doing very well. Currently, there are around 32,000 Pakistani students studying in China in various fields, agriculture, aerospace, information technology, in every field, and they are up to the master level, PhD and postdoctorate level. So China is helping Pakistan to build the capacity. China is producing a workforce which will be able to face the challenges of the next century, even that. That is very positive thing. Regarding Prime Minister's visit to China, I think that Prime Minister Shahbaz Sharif is a very well known to the China. He has been to China many times. When he was a Chief Minister of Punjab, he has been to there. When he was a Prime Minister of Pakistan, he has visited China several times, and he has personal contacts and very good understanding of China. And he is going to Xi'an. Xi'an is the birthplace of President Xi Jinping. That will give a very good message to the Chinese leadership. When you invite somebody to your hometown, that means it's a very good gesture. Xi'an is the beginning of or starting point of the Belt and Road Initiative, or in ancient Silk Route. So it is the cultural, historical, traditional city of China, birthplace of President Xi Jinping. Is very important to visit Xi'an. Secondly, he is going to visit Shenzhen. Shenzhen is the high-tech city, Silicon Valley of China. The most modern research and technology is available or developed in Shenzhen. In Shenzhen, he is going to meet the business forum. Business forum, Prime Minister Shahbaz Sharif has done a lot of homework. He has called a cabinet meeting, asked all the ministries, secretaries and all the senior officials to give him, to prepare his agenda and talking points and the projects and what are the feasibilities. So they have briefed him very well. So Prime Minister Shahbaz Sharif is going to meet the business community in Shenzhen with a very good understanding, with a lot of preparations. And he has good understanding of China. He knows the Chinese concern and he is able to address the Chinese concerns. I think his visit will be very productive, very fruitful, and definitely in Beijing he will meet the Chinese leadership. That will be diplomatic and political strengthening of the relationship. So I am very much optimistic about the outcome of this visit.
So when we talk about the people-to-people contacts, promoting cultural cooperation between the two countries, one other key aspect or the area both sides are looking to cooperate in is tourism. What, according to you, can be done in order to enhance the tourism potential between the two countries?
People-to-people contact are very important because based on understanding, if we develop the relationship, that will be more durable and more solid. So people-to-people contact is very important. Currently, we have a lot of scholar exchange, many Chinese think tanks and professors visiting Pakistan, and many from Pakistan going to China, and of course, we need to relax the visa regime. Both Pakistan is also very strict with the Chinese visa, and Chinese are also very strict with the Pakistani visas. So I think that we will recommend both governments to have relaxed the visa regime to enhance the people-to-people contact. But definitely there are a lot of ways, and tourism is a very important because the Chinese have money, they are very happy people, they have a high standard of life, a lot of earning, and they travel a lot. Millions of Chinese are traveling abroad. Pakistan, if can attract only a fraction of the Chinese tourists, that can solve a big problem for Pakistan.
Right.
And so Pakistan has a tourism potential. The best potential for tourism for Chinese is the religious tourism, because Pakistan has the Kandahara civilization, Buddhist shrines, and the Chinese love to visit this. It's just like to pilgrimage, just like how we go to Makkah and Medina. Right. So they will love to come to Pakistan.
Right, Mr. Baloch, the tourism potential between Pakistan and China, and what steps are required in order to enhance the people-to-people contacts between the two countries further in future?
Yeah, first of all, I think when you're talking of tourism, let me just recall that before COVID, the Chinese were they were the biggest in terms of numbers of tourists who were visiting other countries. I think probably a year before the COVID, where over 30 million Chinese they traveled. Even today also, I think a lot of Chinese go to foreign countries for tourism, for business, and for education. So I think we could attract some tourism, which is one is this historical or religious tourism, but we can also have adventure tourism. We can have ecological tourism. We have wonderful safaris. We can develop safaris in Cholistan, in Thar Desert, in our Balochistan province. But it will require one or two things. One is the tourism infrastructure, which requires good hotels, trained staff, language. I don't know whether Pakistan has, there might be few what's called tour guides who can speak Chinese. I happened to visit Egypt. You might have visited one or both of you. There you see, if you go to the pyramids, you'll find tour guides speaking almost major languages of the world. You can speak Spanish, French, or whatever you want. So likewise, if we want to develop our tourism, it cannot be alone Chinese. I think we need to develop a good cadre of people who can speak different languages, French,
Right.
German.
Right, Mr. G.R Baloch, former ambassador, thank you very much for being with us on the show tonight. Really appreciate that. Mr. Zamir Ahmad Awan, foreign affairs expert, thank you very much for your time. Also for being with us on the show tonight. Really appreciate that. With that, we come to the end of today's episode. Till the next one, take good care of yourselves.